Why should anyone invest in startups? So I think there's lots of reasons to invest in startups. One of the reasons is that investment in general tends to be very hands-off. So if one invests in, through your pension, invests in an ETF or invests in large corporates, there's no real involvement in the day-to-day of those companies, and you don't really feel attached to those companies in any way. Whereas with a startup, there's always the opportunity to impact it in some other way. Perhaps you've got an expertise in a particular area, which is always very, very welcome. And apart from that, it just seems like there's more of an ability to create an affinity, a connection with a startup, particularly if it's operating in an area in which you are really particularly interested. Another reason, of course, is that most startups are started by younger people, and supporting the next generation in business creation and wealth creation is incredibly important. And today's startups are tomorrow's big corporations, and this is the way it has always worked. And in fact, it should be necessary for all professional investment firms, certainly state investment firms, to have a portion of their investments to be channeled towards startups. And that's how important it is. Small business is the lifeblood of every economy, every country. And we hope that a small percentage of those will go on to become larger and larger companies. But the way they start is through the support of the community, the startup ecosystem, etc. So every kind of support that can be afforded to them is very, very welcome. Most companies, particularly larger companies with some very, very notable exceptions, are absolutely terrible at innovation. And if you're a company and you think you're great at innovation, I'm 99% certain that you're not. Small companies, by the nature of their size, the drive of the founder, the passion and enthusiasm of the people working there, are agents of change. They bring about change. They push the boundaries of what's possible. They don't accept that impossible is impossible. Corporations, larger businesses, are very reluctant to do that. They have a much, much lower risk appetite, much lower tolerance for failure, etc. Whereas in startups, it's almost like a badge of honor. It's become almost important to go through a sort of a failure process in some ways in order to achieve positive results. So working with startups affords a larger business the opportunity to get exposure to innovation, enthusiasm, excitement, youthful energy, positivity, whatever you want to call it, and potentially to come across new products, new services, new markets, which it might not otherwise have found. So at a very, very basic level, it affords them the ability to do corporate innovation without having to do corporate innovation, and certainly without doing corporate innovation badly, which is what most companies would do.